Sup heathens, I'm Happy Viking, and I'm here to make you awesome, one frothy pint of metal at a time. So drink up. Hey, you know what I haven't talked about in a long time? Folk metal. So let's talk about that some more. Yes, folk metal. Oh dear God, how I love folk metal. My loins burn with the heat of 1,000 suns for folk metal. To put it simply, folk metal is my catnip. It appeals to me on a fundamental level. It appeals to my love of metal, my love of drinking songs, and my love of nationalistic pandering. It's no secret to anyone that I'm very big on my heritage. You all know that. Everybody knows that. Ain't that right, mystical Danish artifact? Ha ha, damn straight. You priceless bastard. But in the end, it means I really fucking love folk metal. It's a beautiful fusion of everything I love. It's like the audio equivalent of one of those donut cheeseburgers, only without the greasy fingers and type 2 diabetes. When I was a young and idealistic internet reviewer guy, I went a little overboard with it. I reviewed 3 folk metal bands in a row: Ailstorm, Tyr, and Heidevolk. In music reviewing terms, that's considered alcohol poisoning. I was hospitalized for 3 days, and when I got out, I vowed never to binge on folk metal again. Nowadays, I try to avoid overindulging on it, both to protect you fine folks from witnessing my crippling addiction, and to give other metals their day in the limelight. However, every now and then, I just get that fever, you know? The fever for the flavor of motherfucking folk metal! So, sorry, today, you bitches just gotta deal with it. Equilibrium! Hailing from the holy city of hops and barley herself, Munich, Equilibrium makes a very special kind of music. Equilibrium makes the kind of music that makes you dance barefoot on tavern tables, swinging a flagon full of mead all over the place, until such time as a willowy wench grabs you by the collar, takes you up to the loft at the Inn of the Prancing Pony, and bangs your eardrums until they pop like moist cherries. Just the way I like it. Now you must be asking yourself, what's their gimmick? What do they do? And a handsome Viking will reply, everything. They do everything. Saying that Equilibrium is eclectic is like saying Dave Mustaine is a bit kooky. No, through alchemical wizardry and sheer bloody-mindedness, this pagan metal posse has crafted a unique and tasteful blend of numerous folks and metals that leaves handsome blokes like myself in a catatonic state of hard-rocking ravishment. Absorb. I'll drink to that. As with all folk legends, the story begins with a simple event. Once upon a time, 5 buddies wanted to play black metal in a church. They quickly formed a band and performed for the party being held there. The reception from the crowd was so awesome that the stained glass shattered, and all of the crosses inverted themselves. Their egos suitably stroked, the newly formed Equilibrium carried on and composed a kick-ass demo, which got them landed with Black Attack Records, which allowed them to make their debut album, Tourist Frater. Because Black Attack were cheap bastards who didn't pay their bands, Equilibrium parted ways and joined up with Nuclear Blast, a label that was much more willing to shower them with wealth and riches. From then on, they've released Sagas and Recreatur, 2 albums chock full of sick, wicked, whimsical, mystical fucking metal. Case in point, Blut im Auge. Roll it. Hells to the fuck yeah, my good chum. This whimsical little video was the first time I ever heard Equilibrium, and will likely be at the top of your search results should you look for them yourself on YouTube. You know how you listen to one song by a band and you're instantly hooked? That didn't happen to me. I had to listen to 3 of their songs before I was convinced of their amazingness. But it wasn't gradual. The 3rd song just hit me like a sack of bricks. It was the most cartoonish of delayed reactions. Look, I'll demonstrate. First, I listened to Blut im Auge.
This is quite good.
Then I listened to Der ewige Sieg.
I think I'm really starting to like these guys.
Then I listened to Unbesiegt.
This is the greatest band in the whole world! They're so amazing! Oh my god, they're so... Oh, there goes my heart.
It might just be that every song has a different energy to it, and one of them just hit me harder than the others. Equilibrium experiments with tons and tons of tones and textures. It's a veritable cornucopia of old-world instrumentals, and for that, I have René Barthiaume to thank. He is the guitarist, keyboardist, and principal songwriter. Now, I hate implying that one guy is behind all of their magic. It's indisputably a team effort. They are all fantastic. But even the other guys admit that he is a wicked composer, that there's just something about him and the way he composes that's just unique, special, and irresistible.
But, with all the very different energies that Equilibrium tinkers with, they always come up with a very satisfying equilibrium. Oh, you see what I did there? I did a,
Apparently, René found the word in an old school book of his, and he liked how it could mean a balance between disparate elements, light and dark, old and new, metal music, and folk music. Naturally, this describes the band extremely well. They've taken inspiration from many different styles of music: death metal, black metal, symphonic metal, power metal, and many different kinds of folk music as well. Germanic folk music, Celtic folk music, Asian folk music, the classics, the moderns, a little dash of absolutely everything. It's like a cocktail, it's very cosmopolitan. They even crib a little inspiration from the land of old Skyrim.
You know what? I feel it's really alienating when I'm the only one who can understand what you're saying. Would it be possible to speak normally for the benefit of our audience?
They are vermin. The forces of the universe bend to me.
Must be the whiskey talking.
Equilibrium takes what is useful and destroys the rest. And this cosmopolitan attitude towards folk music gives them a lot of versatility. And to those of you who follow my show, you'll know that I never shut up about versatility.
My show follows a fairly simple pattern. You know, talk about me, talk about metal, talk about me, talk about metal, talk about me, talk about metal, talk about me again, bitch about versatility.
Well, what can I say? Versatility is important, but despite their very worldly inspirations, their subject matter is far more local. All of their songs are sung in German, and they're mostly about Germanic mythology. Stories about forest people with roots for fingers and stuff. Those that aren't are about dreams, personal experiences, and video games.
Equilibrium fuses everything, but, as the name suggests, they achieve a good balance. Well, at least I think they do.
Some people think that Equilibrium fuse too much, that they be abusing the fusion. These esteemed and respectable naysayers think that Equilibrium adopts so many instrumentations and structures that, rather than sounding like something completely new or original, they sound like every other folk metal band out there. Not just like one other band, but every other band.
On any given album, maybe you'll hear one song that sounds a little like Elvedi, or another that sounds like Enziferum, or maybe another that sounds like Fintroll. Yeah, I kind of hear that one, actually.
But that's what they think. That's not what I think. I think Equilibrium sounds perfectly unique. But even if some of their songs are dead ringers for other songs, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Worst case scenario, it's like listening to every other folk metal band at once.
Wait a minute. If reviewing 3 in a row is like alcohol poisoning, then reviewing all of them at once is like trying to drink a whole brewery. This band was suggested to me by numerous people on my Facebook group, meaning that those people are actively trying to kill me. You bastards! Just for that, I'm not showing up at MagFest next year. Okay, fine, I'll show up at MagFest, but you guys owe me a beer.
But, you know, listening to every other folk metal band at once isn't something that everyone wants to do. Hell, a lot of people feel like that's how it is anyway. They feel that the subgenre itself is so overcrowded that it all meshes together into one huge mess of horns and hurdy-gurdies no matter what. It's tough being a folk metaler.
But for all the problems they might have, I can't be too hard on Equilibrium. What do I look like, film brain? I love Equilibrium. I couldn't hate them if I tried.
I don't say this lightly, but Equilibrium is probably one of the best folk metal acts around right now. They have a diverse, eclectic sound and a wicked spring in their step that's so bewitching that all within hearing range are magically forced to eat, drink, and be merry. Even if Deja Vu is a problem for you, you can't pass up a band of this caliber without at least giving them a tiny little listen. But if you're a folk metal fanatic with a raging folk boner that needs satisfying, I heartily recommend Equilibrium. Now get out there and get equalized, you jive turkey!
I'm Happy Viking, and you've just been served your recommended dosage of heavy metal. Rock on and
I will show you true power.
Oh, God.